today I should probably be with my family. As you can see, they're in the background. They're watching a Hallmark movie, but I have absolutely no capacity to deal with other human beings. I might actually attack someone. So instead, I've decided to dive into my next project, which is making... That description took too long. I'm making a medieval outfit. And I'm making this kind of medieval themed, but more like fantasy medieval. You know, it's like kind of medieval, but also like epic, and they wouldn't actually wear it because it doesn't make sense. That sort of medieval. These are the fabrics I have selected. I might not use this black silk, which is the one I'm using for my Wicked project. I think I'll just use this one. This will be the shirt. Cloak and skirt will be one of these. I'm not certain which right now. And then this is going to be the corset belt. So I just started draping. I would recommend a mannequin 100%. Also, you can probably see what I'm doing with the collar. I'm not actually adding a collar piece. I just draped it and like pulled it in a way that it looked like a collar. Don't do that. Please don't do that. Don't do it at all. But I would recommend making this cloak because it looks really cool. The thing is, as you can see, mine starts short in the front and gets slightly longer in the back. I would recommend making it a little bit longer than I did in the back just because I feel like that would look a bit better. Sewing the hem was very simple. This was a circular shape, so it can go very wrong. I've made some very bad circular hems in my life, but it can also go great. I also apologize for any wind in my background because it is a super windy day and I cannot find a space where it will not be windy, so we're just gonna have to deal with the wind. I didn't realize at this point how truly bad the collar was, so I moved on to sewing on the cloak clasp, which is very fun to say. Go ahead and try. The thing about this is this actually took a long time to sew on these clasps, but I would end up unpicking them in the end anyway, which is really exasperating, honestly. This is where we are with the cloak, and I just want to make a note to everyone, as if I didn't already say it in the voiceover. Do not do this with your collar if you're making one. I'm actually going to unpick this right now and replace it with an actual collar. We're at with a new collar. I should probably use the sewing machine to get this on, but I'm not going to. I'm going to spend like 12 hours hand sewing it. If you're confused about what just happened, I decided to not use my old collar, unpicked it, and then got a new piece of fabric and used it as a new collar. And I decided to hand sew this only because the sewing machine has a lot less control than hand sewing, and I wanted to be able to really control how the fabric looked and how it was draped and everything. Then I moved on to sewing my cloak clasps, which they're very easy to sew on. I would recommend getting cloak clasps. They don't have to look like mine, but like from somewhere. They're really cheap and they're super useful. I sewed on I sewed on 4 actually, 2 on either side. They connected and looked like 2, if that makes any sense. The cloak is done. I am unspeakably happy with this. Like, I love how it looks so much. Next, I'm gonna use this shirt, which I just feel like it looks like shirt material. You know, like medieval shirt material. I'm gonna make this and make a really billowy, pretty, off-the-shoulder, puffy sleeve shirt. Alright, I just laid out my fabric like so and folded it in half long ways, and I traced a pattern I had already made for my pumpkin dress, which is a loose billowy shirt. This shirt is one of the more easy things in the world to make. It's just a rectangle with 2 holes cut in and gathered along the top. I used a tablecloth, so the bottom edge of my fabric was pre-hemmed, which is one of the things I love about using tablecloths. I want to make everything out of tablecloths, that way I have to do less hemming, because I like sewing a lot, but hemming is not something I enjoy very much. I think it's very boring. Maybe there are people who like hemming in the world somewhere, but I'm not one of them, even though I tend to be a bland person sometimes. I mean, I like plain rice. So I moved on to just sewing down that entire tube along the top. This was actually a lot later because I was doing babysitting for a while and Emma was using the sewing machine. Emma's one of my little siblings. So I left, and you didn't get to see it, but I just cut some stuff for sleeves, made little tubes for those sleeves so that they would be nicely done on the bottom, and then I just sewed those on. And also, you can see I started recently wearing this wrist dressage thing with my pins. This is endlessly useful. Like, it's so useful. I 1,000,000% recommend. So I just threaded some string through my tubes to make them gathered. At first I used like a yarn. Don't use yarn, use like a nice sturdy ribbon. My yarn broke when I was threading it through, and I had to unthread it and do it all over again with the white ribbon you see in this shot. So just make sure you use a nice one, because it won't work otherwise. All right, yeah, guys, this is a lot of hours in. I'm actually like, I sort of love this like a lot. Now I just need to make the skirt. I'm having trouble deciding though if I'm just going to do a normal skirt or add a bunch of slits, because I feel like slits could look really awesome, but I also don't have any epic fantasy pants, so I don't know if I could like cover the slits and be modest, because otherwise like that's all of me. This is uncovered because this is a pretty short skirt. So we've got some math to do. Well, deciding, not math, but aren't those kind of similar in the end? Basically, everything I said in that last clip is wrong. The skirt is actually going to be very long. I'm not doing slits, and math and deciding are not the same thing. So I just started tracing the wicked skirt I made, thinking that somehow the wicked skirt that didn't fit me would trace onto a new fabric and somehow magically fit me. It didn't. I don't know why I didn't think about that, but I didn't. So that's what happened. Anyway, I just moved on to hemming the bottom of this skirt. Yeah, just hemming it. This is really, I have so much footage of just hemming in this video. I don't know if it's all necessary. It probably isn't, but it's here. Okay, guys, we're pretty much done. I just need to finish the, the corset in the back. We need to thread that through. I'm going to buy some grommets today, while I also buy the buttons for my wicked dress. Finally finishing that. If you're wondering about this, I have an unfortunate lack sometimes of something called foresight. Ooh. Hopefully that doesn't happen in real life. Alright, the next big step is to just sketch on some leaves. I can't actually do it while holding a tablet, so you're just gonna get some fast motion footage of this. Apologies. You're probably confused. Basically what just happened is I decided that I was going to be doing a lot of embroidery, which I know now, but I didn't know when I started. I tend to start videos not really knowing exactly what I'm going to do, and then just figure it out along the way, which might not be a good idea. Anyway, I just started embroidering leaves along the cloak. My original stitch, the stitch I was using, looks really bad, as you can see in this shot. It looks like skeleton leaves, so I decided to unpick all of that, and I went with a new stitch, which is, I think, called the satin stitch, and it was just a split stitch for the stems, and then a satin stitch filling in the leaves. Okay, a couple of forevers later, we have this. I'm really loving how it looks. It kind of reminds me of like a Lord of the Rings elf cloak. Like, this is something they'd wear. However, right now I have to take a break because I need to go to the store to get some grommets. I will be back for more embroidery soon. Alright, it is the tomorrow of yesterday at around 11:26. So I think I'm going to try and do like an hour or so's work on this. Alright, for your time's sake and for mine, right here I'm showing only a brief amount of how much fast motion footage I have just right there of me embroidering. Okay, this side is done. It was a lot of work. I was talking really slow in this clip. What basically happened is I sewed on a button. That was it. This is where we're at with the embroidery. Probably already saw this. Now I just need to sew the belt and add my grommets, because grommets must be added. My friends, they must. Else I shall have no way to keep it on me, for I'm not a mannequin that can be turned into. So I moved on to doing the belt. Now the belt is literally just a rectangle with 2 grommets at each end. It doesn't even need to fit you exactly because of the grommets. It is just it's one of my favorite things I've made because it's so easy and it looks really good. So I moved on to adding the grommets, all of them off a frame, because, you know, why would we do it on frame? That doesn't make sense. But they were actually pretty difficult to add, but it was worth it because here's what it looked like in the end. There really is nothing to say for a while here. It's literally just me embroidering, so I'm going to change to a montage with some piano music. had, no joke, 100% full intention to stay up till the New Year's, but even though it's like 11:30 right now, I want to be asleep. I'll probably be awake for New Year's, but I won't be filming. Maya's over there watching over me. My new calendar's up. Alright. Good night, everyone. See you next year. And we're back on the first day of 2025 with more embroidery. There is so much footage of just me embroidering in fast motion, guys. This took forever. Now, I am singing in this clip. Apologies. No one else was home, and I love singing when no one else is home. The cloak did eventually get finished, and I moved on to the belt. I decided I was going to embroider the belt and not the bottom of the skirt, because the bottom of the skirt is a place that will get really dusty when you're walking around Renaissance fairs, which is probably where I'd wear this to. And the belt is higher up, and you can see it better. So I just decided to embroider the belt in a really simple stitch. I recommend YouTubing some stitches, because people will show you how to do awesome embroidery stitches. But basically, after I finished embroidering the belt, this outfit was completely done. As I said, the outfit is completely done. I am so happy with how it looks. Here is the grand reveal of my medieval fantasy outfit. Alright, guys, I always hate when YouTubers say this, but I'm gonna say it. Please subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. Anyway, thanks a lot for watching. I'll see you in my next video.